like that. All right, I'll see you in a bit, hon.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Fireside Chat with the boys. Man, we had such great responses from everybody at VAM about this show. So we haven't been around for a while because we've all been a little busy, I guess we could say. But this is show number 235 for August the 2nd, 2022. So, and
I don't recall doing 235 shows.
Oh, yeah, I kept count. And what I do is for every show, I take one show times 5, and I came up with 235.
It's good math.
Good math. Yeah.
Man math.
Man math.
That math.
We do have an amazing guest tonight. I met this young lady, came up to me when I was coming out of the hotel, and she said, "Hey, is that HDR's bike?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess that is." I said, "There's no stickers on it." And but it was really cool because you noticed my motorcycle before you ever noticed me. And I thought that was cool, man. My bike is a star. That's what I want it to be. So, but this is Harley Gurl. And we'll let you guys are going to go around the channels here real fast and introduce everybody. So go ahead, Harley Gurl, you take it away and just give a brief introduction and we'll come back to you about your channel.
Well, thank you, Jack. So my name is Gloria and AKA Harley Gurl for my channel. Not as big as your channel, you three. Amazing stuff you do. I've been following you for a while. I got into motovlogging about 2 years ago and I just hit 100 videos a couple weeks ago. So yeah, do a little bit of vlogging around the Canadian area.
Do people sing that song to you all the time?
They do, yes. Several times a day.
Gloria.
Yeah.
You think you got my number? Isn't that how it goes? Yeah.
In fact, somebody traveled up, Spider Wayne, his name is, his channel. He traveled up from Canada to do a ride that I did a little while ago and then did a video and put the song Gloria through the whole thing. It was amazing.
How about you too, Gloria? Did anybody ever sing that to you?
No.
You too, Gloria.
Go for the first
one. Yeah.
You
two used to have a song called Gloria. I mean, the early days.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big U2 fan, so I could talk all day about them.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going, Bob.
No, I was done. That's good.
Go ahead, Bob.
That's kind of rude, man.
It was quite rude. I apologize.
Yeah, if we would have started drinking earlier, we could have sang Gloria at some point. It'd have been
yes. We are good singers.
We're not good.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome, Gloria. I am Bodine52. Go by Bob. If anybody is here that doesn't know me, welcome to. It's been a while, so good to be back, and super glad to have Harley Gurl here.
And hi, everybody. My name is Colin. And I'm coming to you on an iPhone tonight. And these guys know this. My computer crapped out on Friday completely. So I've been this whole weekend, I've been trying to fix it. And I think the motherboard's gone. So I'm coming to you on a phone. So I won't be able to read any of the chat. But welcome, everybody. And Gloria, glad you're here. Looking forward to talking to you this hour. So thanks again. And I wish I could have met you at VAM. I know you were there, but we didn't get a chance to hook up. But I know you and Jack did. So thanks again. Yeah. Glad to be here, guys.
Good, and I am your ringside leader for tonight, your host. So I am Harley Day Rider, and living up here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And every day they say it's going to storm, and then it turns out to be an 80-degree day. It was supposed to rain today. Next thing I know, Miss HR came in and said, "Hey, you can go cut the grass." And I thought, well, wait, it's supposed to rain, but it didn't. So there you have it. We have a group of questions here. First, I want to see if Bob can run through. Bob, you want to run through the chat room just to say hello to everybody here, to all these great chatting folks?
Sure. Colin, you can't help with that, can you?
I can't see anything. I could guess.
I know. I knew that. That's why I said it. The real Jackie boy is on, as well as his beautiful bride. Harley Throttle Juice, good morning to you. Can we call you HTJ now? Because it's too much to type Harley Throttle Juice. Ty from Tennessee, Pete's 1800. Let's see who else. Robin the Lady Biker, good morning. HD Traveler is on. Mr. Nelson, good evening. Let's see, who am I missing? Jarvis Biker is on. Another Canadian, eh? Donna Main is on. Motor Ramblings. Chuck Hansen's on from South Dakota. So hope you're enjoying Sturgis. And Be the Rider PA is on. Road Glide Andy, hello. Really cool. Road Glide Andy's been out riding with his kids. That's been really cool to watch. Let's see. Jack Judy is on, gliding on twos. Hetesh World. I've never seen him before. Welcome, him or her. He's in Washington State, so welcome. DNC from Texas. Man, what a group. You bringing them in, Harley Gurl. So great group, HDR.
Can I just go on record that this sucks that I can't see the chat? So you guys are going to have to help me.
Yeah,
I feel like
Girl's
helpless.
on too, sorry. Blue Bike Girl's on too. I missed her. So
Hi, Blue
anybody
Bike
else
Girl.
I missed, I'll catch.
All right, thanks, Bob, for taking care of that tonight. Yeah, we do have a great chat room, man, and the chat room is what drives these shows. We always say that, even with my Saturday thing. You know, you guys drive the shows. So we're going to start out here tonight, and I guess you already gave Harley Gurl, you already gave a little bit of introduction to your channel. We just like to try to figure out with our guests and give you the kind of the spotlight about, you know, why did you start a YouTube channel? Because I mean, a lot of us are just crazy people. And we just start talking to ourselves in a helmet. Next thing you know, we have these magical videos that we put out. You know, where do you expect your channel to go? What are you hoping? What's your hopes for the grand scheme of things? So go ahead and take that away.
Well, I started my channel out of boredom. We were in tight restrictions and nothing was open, like nothing. There wasn't even a public washroom. So if I went to a gas station to get gas in my motorcycle, sometimes I would check first and say, you know, is there a facility? And if not, then I went somewhere else. Yeah, it was that bad. It was lonely. So yeah, I started talking in my helmet and I thought, you know what, my family's always asked me, what am I doing? How am I doing? So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start recording what I'm doing, where I'm going, capture it all. And then someone said to me, oh, you should go on YouTube. They have a lot of motovloggers. And I'm like, what? Because I wasn't motovlogging at that time. I didn't have a microphone. I was just simply recording. And then I slowly got into, I still am struggling with the audio thing and the full face, but it's coming along. So yeah.
I think everybody has that magical struggle of audio. You know, Bob and Colin have it figured out. They do a really good job with that. Bob, maybe you can help her out with your setup. I know it works really well for you.
Be glad to help anybody.
For sure. It's simple.
Yeah.
Real simple.
Well,
Worked for years.
Years ago, Colin, when I started, I found you. I was riding a street glide at that time. So
That
anybody that had a street glide, you know, I was in there. And
Don't
I actually
watch Jack's
learned.
video. Jack had a stupid video this morning about something. I can't remember.
I watched it, but I could really identify with him. So
Three reasons to buy a street glide.
Yeah.
Remember, and Bob did one too after he got his. How great that road glide is.
Yeah.
You either like him or you don't, right?
We converted Bob a while back.
They're trying to convert me
Yeah.
We are trying to convert him.
one day. Maybe.
And the comments on that video this morning are very interesting. And I think the guy said it right. It's all down to preference. You know, what do you want to ride? I mean,
That's right.
you know, I just put those out there. It's like, this is why I bought it. This is kind of the stuff that I like about it. You know, but plus somebody told me that the one you used to have, what was that, Ultra Limited, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said that bike is like 68 pounds lighter than a Road Glide Ultra, and I don't know that to be true. He said the front fairing of the Road Glide is heavier than the Batwing fairing. So comments are interesting, guys, and I know everybody in the side chat has been pretty much, a lot of you are YouTubers, and you know what I mean when comments are. They can get very interesting and opinionated, you know, and you just have to say thank you so much for watching. Ride safe. You know?
Yeah.
Gloria,
So, go ahead.
Before you get to the Gloria, you said, I don't know if you said this earlier. What part of Canada are you in?
I'm in southwestern Ontario, so
Okay.
that would be, if you looked at a map, we're like 40 miles west. I'm sorry, about, I don't know how many miles. 2 hours, 3 hours west of Buffalo.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, the only place I've been twice, Niagara Falls. Everybody knows that.
Nice,
And then Manitoba.
okay.
I did a fishing trip up there. Was it Calgary, if I remember right? It was up there. Is that right? And then it was beautiful. I had a great time up there. It was amazing. I mean, we flew out on one of those fishing boats or the float boats.
Oh yes.
Because there's no roads in Canada, out in the middle of nowhere. But it was cool, man. Everybody was really friendly, and I could talk like a Canadian.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Hey. You were in Alberta, which is very, very nice. Yeah, lots of water, lots of fishing people out there.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
What did you fish for? Salmon?
I don't remember.
Canada has no roads.
Not where we went. No, they had to actually fly in. You was it? I can't remember what the town. I think maybe it's Winnipeg. What's in Manitoba? Is it Winnipeg?
Manitoba. That's where Winnipeg is.
Winnipeg. That's what I was thinking of. Not Calgary.
That would be like going to isolation to fish.
Yeah, it was pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So we flew into Winnipeg, and then we took a float plane. Well, we drove like 2 hours, and we took a float plane like an hour. And it was cool because the pilot actually let me fly the plane while I was up in there. That was cool as hell. Yeah, I got pictures of that. I didn't do a video, but that was cool. You know, like I did a quick nosedive back up. No, I didn't. But,
upside down loop.
It was a blast. We had a great time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Colin, I'll bring up something from your past. You can be the weatherman from the air.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we have a video. Let's show it now.
Yeah, let's show the video.
Nice.
We did find that video, huh? Remember, it wasn't you, but that was funny. That was hilarious.
But nobody would know.
Yeah, nobody would know. It looks like a younger Colin. I mean,
it does.
It does. Yeah.
He's a handsome chap.
You know.
Hey, Jack, I have a question for Gloria, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man.
So as somebody who is half Canadian, as I told you before, the left side, and a lot of times I went over the Ambassador Bridge in my lifetime and flew into Canada for other stuff. I know you just went to VAM and on your motorcycle. How was it? What's the difference? How'd you get across the border? A big deal? Not a big deal? How'd you get your motorcycle in the U.S.?
So rode it over. No, rode it up to the gate. You know what? It was really easy to come into America. United States, they were so awesome. They said, how long are you planning on staying here and where are you going? And I just told them I'm going to Virginia. I'm going to stay like 4 or 5 days. And so there was 2 of us. So they're like, are you with each other? And because my friend had already gone through first. However, coming back into Canada, that was more of an ordeal than going into the United States because you have to have an app on your phone, which is called ArriveCan. If you don't have the app, they want you to have the app. That's kind of interesting to find out for those people who don't have a cell phone. I guess they'd have to print it. But yeah, you have to have the app. You have to have everything all scanned on your passport, where you were, how long you were in the States, and you have to show them that before you come back into Canada. They didn't even ask if we were vaccinated. It was really just how long you staying there. It was really good.
And you're a citizen, so that doesn't make sense. But things are have been opened up a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So if I come to visit, do I need that app also? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, it's called ArriveCan, and they won't let you in without it.
ArriveCan,
CAN, yeah. And it's an app they want on your phone, and so basically, when you fill out the app, it'll ask you for your passport, and then there's a number in your passport you scan, and it all syncs when you get there. So as soon as I handed him my passport to come back into Canada, he had the number already synced with my app, and he knew how long I'd been there.
So Gloria, when I was younger and went over the Ambassador Bridge all the time, I didn't have to show a passport or obviously the app, right? It used to just be how long you're going to be in, and boy, things have changed, haven't they?
Sure have. Yeah.
So that's still the case, even though the Ambassador Bridge is an hour and a half from me, I would still have to take my passport, right?
Yes, that was the first thing they asked me for. Yeah.
Wow.
Did that start after 9/11? The passport. I mean, Bob, I don't know how long ago you were there. You're talking when you were younger.
Yeah, but over the last 4 or 5 years, I've flown into a bunch of different places in Canada, and obviously I had a passport and all that documents. So I always had to have it when I was flying in and out, for sure.
Yeah, because that's the first thing we did when we got our passports. We received them on a Wednesday, and I told Mary, I said, look, I said, let's go to Canada like Friday. She's like, well, I said, we got passports, we want to use these things. So we did. We originally got them to go to Ireland. We still haven't been there yet.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But yeah, and that's a whole other story. Now we got a lot of invites to go to Australia. So we're looking at flights. It's 19 hours from where we live. And they're like $5,000 a ticket. So that might have to wait.
I'm surprised you and Mary didn't want to go to Tijuana instead.
Yeah. Well, I would. She won't, but I want to go back to Jamaica. I love Jamaica, but she said, no, I did it once. I don't want to go again.
Hey, Jack, according to Ty from Tennessee, conspiracy number 456, that the Canada is tracking us on the app. He knows it. So just clarification. And Jarvis Biker said you could get into Canada before 9/11 with just your birth certificate. So.
No, okay. Yeah, I thought it was something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
So as long as you were born, you can go in. That makes sense. So, okay, then Bob Collin, BC, we'll call you. I think you have the next question.
So I got to act like I'm Colin?
Yeah, you can do the Colin voice.
Hi, I'm Colin.
That was weak.
Yeah, you blew it already.
I think it was exact, actually. We know from Vam that you travel with a friend. How many road trips do you normally take a year? And what would you say was your best ever? Colin.
All right, Colin.
You're welcome.
Bob, you even had his facial expressions.
Yeah, that was good.
Got to be more animated.
That's it, dude. You just got it.
Hand.
Gotta do this.
Nobody else does that.
Emphasizing. Oh, that's funny. How long you guys known each other?
Just a couple million
Too long.
years. I think.
50 years. So
We were all in the same nursery.
So Gloria, you did come in with a friend. Was this your best road trip, or do you do a couple a year, or what's your favorite?
So since the restrictions have lifted, I can honestly say I haven't done any road trips. My van was my first in like 3 years.
Wow.
But yeah, normally we do 1 or 2 a year, not always into the States. We've done Eastern Canada, Western Canada, a little bit of it, not as far as I'd like to go with Western Canada yet. I have family in BC, which is north of California, and I really would like to get out there and ride to the California Pacific coast. That's always looks nice. My best trip, I'm going to say, would be, it was 2016, and rode down with a group of good friends. It really matters, who you travel with and memories you can pull back when you do a road trip somewhere. So we did down into Tennessee and did all the, what everybody always does when they go down there. Stayed in Robbinsville, rented a treetop house, and it was just amazing. Did a lot of really nice riding down in Tennessee, and that to me it's just a great trip. I remember well.
Cool.
That's cool. So did you ride to Vam with somebody?
To Vam, I rode with my best friend, Marilyn. Her and I have been riding together for like over 16 years now, and have always said we were going to do a trip together without the guys. It was totally different, but
yeah, somebody asked the question how long you've been riding. That was Mrs. Jackie Boy. So 16 years?
I started in 2004, so this is my
about that,
18th.
Wow, very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome. And your friend was super nice also. And how long did you get her into riding, or did she get you into riding?
So a hog chapter formed from one of our dealerships here, and I met her there. She was a new rider, and we were ladies of Harley right away, and got to start riding together, and then just went from there.
And I think it's great. In Bob's video this morning, he pointed this out about he was talking about $1 Million Bogan and his travels, and him and Itchy Boots right now are coming through the United States. And it's interesting, like you coming in from Canada, I told Mary, I said, people are coming in and you guys are seeing more than what I see. I've lived here for 58 years, and I think that's awesome though. But I'm sure you don't go to Niagara Falls every day either, right? That's not probably high on your list.
No.
So what's the best? I'm sorry, Harley.
No, go ahead, man.
What's the best side of Niagara Falls? Because I went to Buffalo a lot. I hear it's the Canadian side is better view than the U.S. side. Is that right?
Yeah, the Horseshoe Falls much bigger. It's just a better view for sure. The mist will come right over the roadside when you're riding down. You can ride like the Niagara Parkway, and the mist it'll just spray all the way from there. It's quite spectacular, really, to see.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, very loud. It's.
Do you have videos up of that on your channel?
I do,
Right.
yes. I actually
Okay.
rode down the Niagara Parkway. I didn't even get off my bike. I just rode down the Niagara Parkway, and my 360 camera picked it up and got some wet drops as I rode by. It was so crowded, so we just rode through. It's a very pretty ride.
Oh, great. I see Mrs. Jackie Boyce said they went to Ireland 3 times before. Oh, this year's the next time they go is going to be the 3rd time. So
Nice.
we spent a lot of time with them at VAM. They came over to the house we rented and hung out with us. Very good people. Oh, everybody's good people in here. But where I was going is I think I can stow away in their suitcases and they won't care because we're kind of tight now. So I'm just saying. So Mrs. HR is going to be mad when I send her a postcard. Yeah.
I never got an invite from them, but whatever.
Does anybody do postcards anymore? Is that a thing of the past, man? That used to be a big thing.
I don't think they make them anymore.
They don't make them anymore?
No,
I think that went
come
out in
on.
the 70s, maybe.
No, come on.
with your iPhone -4, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't see them around anymore now that you say that. A few souvenir shops you go to, I didn't see any.
yeah. And Lori, you talked earlier about making memories with friends. We stayed in-
Excuse me.
where do we go, guys? Allegheny National Forest. And I live
Yes.
streamed from my phone and it was all grainy. And Bob looks, he goes, it's like an iPhone 4, man. He's like, what's the matter with you? And I think at that time the iPhone 10 was out. And I'm like, well, I'm a tech guy. I try to make it last.
Yeah, it's just the software, right? That
Yeah.
Allegheny Forest is beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice
Yeah.
up there.
It was really nice when we rode through there.
We had a great time up there. And we do make a lot of memories. Bob has some pictures on his phone of me and Colin that will never see the light of day.
Nope.
You know,
Yeah.
unless like one day, like you'll come to, this is morbid, but you'll come to our funeral, be a slideshow, and those pictures will be popping because Bob will give those to our spouses. So,
Dude, I got a folder just for that in case already.
but yeah,
Like-
the memories are what you make, and us three traveling together, especially in Ohio, and just kind of hanging out by ourselves. We made some pretty good memories up there. A lot of good riding. So, but all right, let me see. I got another question for you here. Then we'll go on, Colin. Don't worry, we're getting you involved here, brother. I think you already said that. The background of your motorcycles and how long did you start? Okay, I think we got that covered. So we'll go into topic 1. If you guys don't care, we'll start with Colin so we can get him chit-chatting there. And Colin can't see the screen anyway, so I'm going to read it. I will put it up here for you guys to see it so we'll know what's going on. What would you suggest for people looking for a new motorcycle? Thoughts on prices, brands, and types of riding? Colin.
What would you suggest for people looking for a new motorcycle? I mean, I think obviously it's skill levels first. If you're a brand new rider, I mean, if you're an experienced rider, completely different. But if you're a new rider, I would not start out with a bagger per se. I think more of the touring model. I'd go probably a lower CC or a little bit smaller bike. Let's put it that way. Learn first before you kind of upgrade. I mean, I know like through my kind of evolution of bikes and how I started. Now I've been all Harley, but I did a Fat Bob first bike, which was obviously at the time it was a Dyna before they got rid of it. But then I had that for almost 9 years before I went to my first bagger. And then I went
Wow.
and then I had a Street Glide. And then I got rid of that a year later and got the upgraded M8. And then the next thing, I'm a big promoter of this, and these guys know this because I have the bike now and I freaking love it. If you want to do adventure riding, there's a lot of good bikes out there, not just the Pan America, but there's the BMW, Ducati, KTM, a lot of great bikes out there that just from an adventure bike capacity or learning that is night and day. And that was probably one of my best decisions I did, was kind of going into that realm of things and kind of taking that on. And Pete, I'm assuming Pete's still on here. Pete's 1800 and I had the privilege of riding both our Pan Ams in Tennessee. oh my God, it's just incredible riding, and I enjoyed it. So best advice I'd give is kind of, go to a demo day for sure and take out several bikes to what feels right for you. Because, we bust balls. We always talk about road glide versus street glide, but I'll be the first to admit road glide rides better, but I love my street glide, so whatever feels good for you. And it doesn't have to be a Harley either. You could start a lot smaller. It's just something that you'll know as soon as you get on a bike and you ride it for a while and you got that feeling, you're like, yeah, this is for me. And that's kind of how you know.
Okay, good
Are those Pan Americas actually Harleys?
They are.
Okay.
And guys, I've said this.
Asking for a friend.
I know I've said this on a video, and people are traditionalists will blast me. That bike blows away the street glide. It does. It's an amazing vehicle. It really is. And I would have never thought I'd say that after riding thousands of miles. It's just the power alone. Comfort, no. But yeah, that's actually probably my favorite bike now of my two.
Yeah, I heard that on your video about your highway speeds. I think
it
does pretty well.
It does great. So that's just me. Not everyone's going to have that same, passion for that type of riding, but I love it.
All right, we'll go around backwards.
Did you mean their first bike or just a new bike in general?
Either way, Bob, because I know you went out and you searched out a Road King, something you always desired and wanted. So either way, either a new rider or maybe somebody looking to get into a second bike, what would be your opinions on that?
I think if you're going to get your first bike, you should buy a used bike.
Yeah.
And make sure that riding is really what you want. I did it. It only lasted about 3 or 4 weeks. It cost me $1,000 to get rid of what I bought. That's what my first reaction would be. The other one, I think, Jack, you mentioned either on your video this morning or on your last couple about, and Colin, you just said it, go to a demo day. If I rode a demo day, I'd probably ride the Pan America and, I don't know, maybe, I guess that's probably all I would ride, right? I think you ride them all, Jack, and I think that helps people. And then I think going to different places other than Harley, right? While we're Harley boys, there's a bunch of great motorcycles out there that we joke about, but we probably don't even know because we never rode them. And then if you're looking for a second used bike, just look around and be patient. You'll find the right deal and the right bike.
I think you nailed it with used though, because there's
that's a good point. I wasn't even
such a market right now. You could get some great deals on some bikes right now. I mean, you could get some great deals on trade-ins too, but at the same time, and some bikes that have sub 10,000 miles, sub 5,000 miles, that are great bikes.
And that's kind of where we got into the Harleys. I know you guys might see my first videos out about the Sportster I bought. Like Bob said, we had that for 4 months. I mean, we took a big hit on that because we were upside down on the loan. You know how that is. You go into Harley and they're like, yeah, we'll sell you a new bike. We'll just tack this 5,000 onto that new loan. No problem. And they did that for us, and so grateful. But then we bought another used bike, a big bagger, right? So, and then we really got the Harley bug, and we started touring on the bike. And it's like, well, now we want a brand new one. And 27 years later, still making them payments. And we just looked at our payment thing this morning. I told Miss HR, I said, she sort of said, I'm almost done. It's like a sentence, but and it feels really good. And that bike would have been sold quite a few times if it wasn't for Bob. Bob will call me and say, dude, your bike is fine. It looks nice. Yeah, and I appreciate that. And Colin will say it, and people say that bike's fine. So, and it'll be even better when it's in the garage and it's paid off. So that's the big thing. So I'm going to let Gloria, I'm going to let you take this before I give you my thoughts on that. But you two guys had great points. And it's great when you get to host this because you don't have to really add anything because you guys nail it. So go ahead, Gloria, nail it for us in Canada. I heard bikes are more expensive in Canada, so maybe give us your Canadian views.
That's funny you say that. Actually, the other day we were looking, we thought, wow, it's actually cheaper now for an American to come up to Canada, buy their Harley, and then just take it home because the price is so different.
Wow.
Yeah, that just recently happened. But
'Cause you guys just switched to pesos, right? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm just going to agree with everybody. All those points are good. I know when, I have a lot of girls that come up to me sometimes and just say, oh my goodness, tell me about that bike you're riding. But I always say, I mean, anybody can influence and sway us on what they're riding, and they all have, great views on, like, I think people should do demos if they're looking for a new bike. But for me personally, I think the first should be like a used bike, just to see if you're going to like it, right? There's so many different types out there. I know people who start on Yamahas and little Honda Shadows, and then they move up to big bikes, and they're so grateful they did that, because the investment was like $2,000 or $3,000, as opposed to, like, I didn't. I went right out and jumped on a Sporty, and just, it was horrible. Like, that Sporty is a tank. I don't know why they tell people to ride those things, but it's like you mentioned, Jack, it's a wonderful thing for Harley. Buy that Sporty. We know you're coming back in 6 months because it's horrible to ride, and you're going to spend more money. So yeah,
or the street glide. Or the street glide.
From that, I went into a Softail. I went into a Softail Deluxe. I loved it. I rode it for a long, long time. But yeah, I really believe that you got to get on it. You got to try them, because the bike will speak to you. You'll know what you want. Like, you'll feel it and know it's the one for you.
It's funny you say that, because I put this big heater in the garage last year, Bob, or 2 years ago, and then Bob put one in his garage. And I'm always like, why do you need a heater in that garage for? What are you going to do down there? I said, well, I turn it on. And she'd come down one day, and I was sitting in a lawn chair just like this looking. She goes, what are you doing? I said, well, the bike is speaking to me. And I said, and so you're right. It does happen,
Sure does, yeah. We connect with them.
If you can't ride them, you got to at least spend some time with them, right? They're like one of our pets.
Yeah.
Got to chill out with them.
Go down
Donna asked me why I got the heater in the garage. I'm like, so I can go out there in the winter. It gets cold in Michigan. And she goes, you just got it for the bikes, didn't you? And I go, well, they get cold.
They get cold.
Yeah.
Bring them inside.
You got it.
Oh, I would if she'd let me. That's for sure.
We should invent that, the motorcycle snuggie, to snuggle our motorcycles in. That might be something to do. But Bob, you said about me with demo rides. Yeah, when I go to demos, and I've been to quite a few of them. I've been to Yamaha, Kawasaki demos. Indian is probably our local Indian shop here put on the best demo, and I say that because they bring food trucks. They have like pop, they have donuts and coffee in the morning, and everything's free. They just want you to chill out with them all day, and we ride everything. And that's where I found the love for what I don't remember what Harley's electric motorcycle's name was. Do you guys remember that?
Livewire.
And I tell you what, that little thing is fast. You're sitting kind of like leaned over. I cracked that little throttle, and there's no delay because there's no combustion. I could never own one because I can't see pulling over for, gas or a recharge and having to hang out for 5 hours waiting, right, before you get back on the road. So I don't think that's me, but it is a really, really cool thing. So, all right, we will move on. And I think that was all I had on that because, like I said, you guys nailed it. It's easy when you're hosting. So if you guys don't care, we can go the same way and keep calling in the loop. Is that okay with you, Gloria?
Yeah, I'm trying to squint my eyes and read this tiny phone screen.
Okay, so and this actually cut off because I guess we're limited in this program to 200 characters. So we know Colin is an off-road rider. Okay, many of you don't know. Bob is, and I was walking on the track this morning, and Mary went with me. We're talking. I was talking about this question. She goes, "Bob rides off-road." I said, "Bob has done a lot of off-road riding, and Bob will tell you about that. But it's a different style." But I wanted to put that out there. Can we talk a little bit what it's like to ride off-road? Maybe some advice let me pick up what I didn't put on here. Hold on, guys. Where are we at here? Okay. Can we talk a little bit off-road? Oh, and maybe some advice you would have for some other folks that want to do off-road. And Bob will explain to you his off-roading adventures. I'm not going to put that out there. I'll let him say it in his words. So go ahead, Colin. You start us off.
Well, I mean, to clarify, I think when you say off-road,
I'm not talking dirt bike.
Yeah, not like enduro where I'm like, you got a 2-cycle, 4-cycle, whatever.
No, and
turn up through the.
And just as a preface, Bob's going to have a little bit different take on this than what Colin is, because Colin on motorcycles, I'm talking like fire roads, gravel road. You're just like you just said that earlier about, oh man, adventure riding is great.
Yeah.
Why would you send somebody out to ride, on unpaved roads, let's say.
Well, you're asking basically what the difference is. If I can't read it, but I mean, I can try to answer it the best I can. I think, well, first, to learn it, it's completely different from street riding.
Okay.
You know, Pete and I were talking about that. Whereas if you don't lean, so when you go into a corner, you're on the street, you kind of lean with the bike. You counterbalance when you're on an adventure bike, when you're on dirt, not when you're on the street. So you have to switch back and forth constantly. And we struggled with this actually when we were riding all day street, when we were doing Tennessee, we were doing twisties nonstop and doing all the traditional roads. And all of a sudden we do kind of a dirt road. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. And so you have to really use your weight. You use your pegs a lot. So and when you're off road, you stand up a lot. And I come to find out it's illegal to stand up when you're in certain states, when you're on the street. I didn't know that because I stood up probably 60% of the time on that bike. Even when I was doing highway speeds at like 70, which isn't probably the smartest thing in the world, but it felt so good. And so I'm riding through Tennessee for like 3 or 4 miles straight, just standing up. And then I got home and looked it up. I'm like, shit, it's illegal. Guess I won't be doing that again. But on dirt, I guess I don't care. But anyway, you're always standing up. So when you're standing up, you have a lot more control of the bike. You know, your pegs are straight down. They're not, forward like we are on a baggers. It's hard when you switch back and forth. It's like, you think it'd be easy, but after, riding one style and all of a sudden you have to kind of change and switch. It lasts for about 5 minutes and then you kind of get the hang of it. But that's the biggest difference I found is I actually had to go to training, and I'm still going to do more classes because it's a completely different riding style than you would with street. Completely different. Just the way you balance your body, the way you go into turns, the way you accelerate out of things, the way you use your brakes. There's all these different, how you do sand, how you do gravel, and all these different kind of like tips and tricks that I've learned from these classes that I've actually gone to. That's helped me out a lot. And so that's the best advice if anybody were ever to get in that type of riding. And again, I would say honestly, 20% of my riding, if that's probably even a stretch, maybe 15% is off-road, is on gravel. Those adventure bikes are made for both. Predominantly they're probably street on most people. I mean, not everyone's just going to sit there and ride all dirt roads or the backcountry routes, all these, the BDR and all these different things throughout the country. And that's all they ride it. Honestly, I mean, most people probably do 90-10, if that.
Yeah,
could be wrong, but just the amount of horsepower on those things, amazing. Just how much fun you can have by switching back and forth from going to street, then trying something a little bit different. I mean, that, Jack, from when you you rode gravel on a bagger.
Yeah, 6 miles on a bagger.
Yeah.
A little bit different on my bike, so I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now I have some in the past. I used to do 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers. 3-wheelers they don't make anymore because they were a death trap. But the 4-wheelers, it's completely different. I know Bob's got some experience with that. I've only actually rode a dirt bike maybe 10, 15 times in my life. Actually a dirt bike so it's not like I'm an expert on that by any means, but it's cool learning, man. It's cool. Like having to learn something completely new and a different style of riding. When you're on the street, it's the exact same as riding our bikes, but when you're on the dirt, it's completely different.
Yeah, and I kind of wrote this question because as we were going to Virginia, which I don't know if Be the Rider PA is in here, or I told you guys, from us, Virginia is 4.5-hour ride. When you go to Be the Rider PA, it took us 10.5 hours. But he pointed something out. We're riding around this bend. He goes, "Hey, there's the Hatfield-McCoy Trail." And I said, "Oh," and I remembered Bob used to tell me about this. So go ahead, Bob, pick it up.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, by the way, real quick, Baggers and Brews, Droop, Bride the Biker. As my Southern Maryland wife would say, church must have let out because a bunch of people just dropped in. So, welcome, guys. I spent about 10 years with a bunch of buddies riding the Hatfield and McCoy trails. I rode it on a quad. because the just didn't have enough dirt bike experience to ride it on single track, because the roads and Hatfield and McCoy trails, people die there every year, right? It's one of those. It's one of those things when you ride, you're in full gear and you're always knowing where you're going to bail to. And if Mrs. Bodine ever was out there with me and saw where we rode, she would go, "You're not doing that again," right? But it was a huge adrenaline. I will tell you, I was kind of not joking with Colin about, the Pan America, because I missed that type of riding a lot. I'm getting older, right? So that standing up, sitting down is a little bit different, but it's something that I still think about for sure.
Wait, what was I going to say? Never mind. I forget, but it was something to that effect. I know and I know you started your channel way back, maybe even before what I'm getting at. Did you have any of the quad stuff on your channel?
I think I started actually on YouTube only because I did like 2 or 3 videos on quads in the mountains.
Right.
And I put them on YouTube. And then a couple years later, I started with the motorcycle stuff.
Are they still on your channel?
I think my first couple videos are still on my channel. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I want to go back and watch them because I have not, but
it's really hard. It's really hard to tell elevation, but it's one of those things. I'm sure a lot of people ride it. It's pretty dangerous, and you're riding over rocks that are 3 and 4 feet high, and
wow,
ledges. Jack, the dirt road you were on, those cliffs, those are everywhere, right, all day long. Mm-hmm. So. But it's a lot of fun. That's for sure. I miss it for sure.
Well, good. And that's Bob. That's exactly how I was hoping you would throw that experience out there for us, because I knew you did all that stuff. But I don't think a lot of the viewers knew maybe you did that. And I thought it was funny that Mary, I guess I've never told her, because she was like, "He did what?" And I told her. She's like, "No kidding." And I was like, "Yeah, he's big." And I thought you were on a 3-wheel trike, but you said it's a quad, so that's a 4-wheeler with a seat on it, not an enclosed thing, right?
I'm going to add something when you're done.
We call those grocery getters. No, I rode on a quad. I don't ride it. There's a lot of side by sides out there.
Side by side. Okay.
Yeah, no, we were all. We all did that. I'll tell you what, and Colin, for you and Pete, I don't know if you're feeling this yet, but. You ride in the mountains even on a quad for 4 or 5 hours. It's like you just had a 5-hour workout, man. You're not doing it from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. You're pretty beat up. So a lot of fun.
When you're on dirt, you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No, I was going to say this, Jack. A lot of people don't get the bike yet, and that's cool. And I've just given you my experiences, what I've learned.
Yeah. Right.
2 years ago or 3 years ago, I would have never, probably seen me getting on an adventure bike. Probably the best decision I ever made. And a lot of people have also said I'm too old, or, I know you and I, all 3 of us are similar age. I know you guys are 10 years older than me, something like that. But, for the most part, I had to throw that dig in there.
You're the baby. You're the baby.
I'm the baby of that group.
And it's not even close to 10 years, dude.
No,
I think it's like 4 or 5. We're different, something like that. But anyway, you could. Someone like me, in the earlier. I'm 52, so I don't mind, telling people my age. But I'm 52. I'm not too old, so people get on there and worry, it's gonna wreck me or something. I don't have the strength to do it. Absolutely, it's easy. It's a blast. There you go. Let's be.
I think the biggest thing in watching Pete's videos, and I told him at the house, we had a long conversation. I told him, as YouTubers, we tend to edit out our YouTube videos for us when we put it out there, right? It's all the gloriness that we do. We don't always put out. Bob did it one time before too, and I called him up and I said, "Dude, that was amazing. Remember, Bob, you left your kickstand down, and you let that go in the video. We usually edit that out." And he didn't. Pete dropped his Pan America, and he struggled to get it up. But it taught him to put new engine guards. Okay, that's the cute term for crash bars on the side of his bike now, so it will lean better, so he can get it up. But he put that on the video, and I think it's awesome to sometimes put our stuff out there that we're not, that we do that's kind of silly, because everybody does it. So Gloria, you are a famous dirt rider up here in Canada, and you go out there in the dirt trails and you ride out there with your beautiful street glide.
I'm the one that's got the camera watching them go by. I have not done any dirt riding, and well, I shouldn't say have not. I mean, many years ago, I'd get on the back of my son's little, 60cc Kawasaki, but I just admire people who can do that. I just have never done it myself.
Well, I just got what Colin just said. If I mention to anybody that I want to do a little bit of adventure riding, I think being with Colin and Pete and talking to them, and Pete's like, dude, anybody can do it. And Colin, you just said that, and I'm very happy that you mentioned that. But I had Be the Rider PA here one day, and he said, dude, he said the next adventure you have in the dirt's going to be going down. And I was like, dude, that wasn't very nice. And he said, you're too old for that, man. You don't do that. You're old. But I've been watching these YouTube videos, guys. There's like 70-year-old guys out there retired, riding through the deserts and stuff out in New Mexico and in California, and awesome stuff, and they still do it and they're fine. So, but I don't know, maybe one day. I think it would be a lot of fun. So
just getting on that Pan America is a job.
It's easy.
Yeah, that's what
getting up on a horse.
But I think, Colin, on the Pan America too, you can stand on the foot peg like I do on my bike and get on, right? Yeah, so that makes it a lot better.
I do a running jump.
A running jump.
In your skinny jeans?
In my skinny jeans. I don't
with your white runners?
You'll never catch me wearing skinny jeans, Bob. Just FYI. The one
Well,
time I did it was a mistake.
Hey, like Jack said, leave the kickstand up, wear skinny jeans. Just make sure it's in the video, right? So
they said in the description they were slender. Didn't say skinny. Just
well,
hey, Bob at FAM, we got him wearing black socks. So
hey, he's in better shape than us. So I'm jealous, brother. That's all.
He is in better shape. So, all right. So we'll just go back around here. We're doing pretty good here with the time. So, Colin, what advice would you give to viewers? And this is, I know you and Bob is in this realm. I don't know too much if Gloria's is about owning multiple motorcycles. I talked to my sister the other day about this. Said, hey, I said, Deb, I'd like, maybe buy a second bike. She goes, well, you can only ride one at a time. Why would you do that? That's just dumb. And I'm like, but there's different styles, right? And you can't get that through to non-riders, I think. They just see you have a motorcycle, right? It could be a moped. They don't care. Are there any drawbacks or disadvantages or advantages?
No. No. Not at all. There's no disadvantages at all. I mean, except, a little bit more work if you're doing your maintenance, but that's it. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you could do it, man, do it. It's fun. I mean, I leave my truck outside so I could park 2 bikes inside. I mean, I'd rather have my bikes in the garage, man. But if I could have 3 or 4, I would. If I could afford it, I'd have more than 2 for sure. I'd love it because why not?
Well, plus what you're doing, it's very different styles, right?
Yeah, mine are 2 completely different bikes, but even if I didn't have, one was a bagger and one was adventure, and I wanted like a different one, that's okay too. Everybody's different, and if you've got different styles and if you could do it, I think it's well worth it.
Okay, cool.
My opinion.
Cool. Bob?
Yeah, you know what? You got to pay two insurances and 2 things for maintenance, but it's awesome if you can do it. There's no doubt. I'm a little bit different than Colin because he does have an ADV, and that would be a third if I got one. Hint, hint. But I will tell you, I like having the new Road Glide Limited. That's a beautiful bike you tour on. But I also love having an older bike and a 2000 Road King. It's just something about that shake and sound on that old bike.
Yeah, man.
I probably wouldn't take it touring. So to me, they are 2 different bikes, though they're not that much different.
Because you ride that thing around town all the time. The King.
I do.
And that's what's great. When I had if I still had my Dyna, I would ride that more around town. Yeah. Because it's so light and it's easy. It's just fun. And like you just said, hearing that sound, especially from, because what was that, 2001, if I remember right? Is that correct, yours?
Mine's a 2000.
Yeah, 2000. So it's, and I love that you have that, that diversity between the 2 bikes, man. It's cool.
Yeah, so it's 2 different styles of bikes. That's what I was trying to get to my sister. So, Harley Gurl, how about you? Gloria?
Well, we have 3 in our house. My husband's a lot like Bob that way. He has an older, it's a CVO. It's a 2006 Ultra, but he won't get rid of that. And then his new Road Glide, but same thing, 2 different types of bikes, different sounds, right? Like we always joke up here and say the 114s are Honda Davidsons because it's hard to get that sound from the old Harley sound with the rumble, the V-twin, right?
The rumble V-twin.
Yeah, a lot of difference. And insurance, like I did a video on that a little while ago because I've been talking to a friend of mine that moved to Florida, and she's like, "Oh, insurance is so cheap down here. My husband's got 6 bikes in the garage, 6 Harleys." And I'm like, "How did that happen?" And she goes, "It's part of your house insurance. You don't have to pay motorcycle insurance. Like up here, it's anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a year. It's very expensive. So if you wanted to have a couple motorcycles, it will kill you on insurance, and you have to pay it for 12 months. We used to be able to many, many years ago pay only when you were riding your motorcycle, and then you could just do comprehensive through the winter when it was in storage. But now that's not the way it is. So it's costing you anywhere from $100 to $150. Doesn't matter about your experience. Doesn't matter. That's the price. It's crazy.
Do you think the wives will be mad when we tell them they need to park in the driveway so we can park our additional bikes in their spot in the garage?
Yeah,
if they don't ride one, yes.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna fly with Miss this year because she said all this winter. She goes, "It's been so nice not having to clean the cars off, just pull one out and leave in the morning."
Yeah, that's nice.
And then we found out my sister. We used to clean the driveway, right? So I get up at like 3 and I'd shovel because dummy me tried to never buy a snowblower, but now we got one. Then my sister's there one day. She goes, "You guys got all-wheel drive cars. You can drive right out of this driveway and go to work. And then when you come home in the evening, clean it." I was like, "Wow, that was a game changer." So now we don't have to wake up.
Did that snowblower come with the new phone? Is that how you got it?
It was a package deal. Yeah. And I got to pay a monthly service on my snowblower, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
not judging. I think it was a smart move.
Yeah. Who could judge that, right? Who could judge that? So, very good. What was we talking about here?
We were talking about it. I didn't know it was that expensive up there. That's
yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
The insurance.
That is crazy.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
I just told you that.
Bob, what do you guys? You guys use Progressive or no?
I use Progressive.
Yeah, that's what I use. Progressive too.
And Progressive has different prices based on where you live.
Oh.
I don't know why that is.
And honestly, as somebody who got backed into their motorcycle, Progressive was incredible to deal with.
I remember that video. She's like, "Ooh."
They were incredible to deal with. My rates didn't go up. They took care of everything. They were incredible.
I met Flo.
Did you?
Yeah, like 3 years ago at one of those the auto shows or the motorcycle shows they have, the Progressive ones. She was there for a day. I thought that was cool.
Isn't it funny how commercial celebrities can be so big? Like I met Flo. Like really?
She's so much older than I thought too.
Is she really?
Yeah.
But she was dressed up for the part. She didn't look like her normal self.
Yeah.
Because I know she puts on a crap load of makeup for that.
Yeah, well.
So she looked like an insurance lady and not a.
She did.
Lady?
She had a little flow thing on too.
You think she rides?
She was actually.
You think she rides?
I don't know. I was going to ask.
I didn't ask her that honestly. She had like 20 people waiting to see her. I just,
I would be disappointed if she didn't ride. We need to research that. Does Flo ride?
I bet
that's my next video.
That's your next video.
Flo from Progressive ride.
We'll find that out to Google.
I've only seen her on commercials, but I'm going to go with she doesn't ride.
She doesn't ride.
You don't think? I think she does.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed. I think they should make her if she doesn't.
I can't Google it because my phone's being used for this stream.
Oh.
It'll be like remember Happy Days, which we still watch reruns, and Fonzie. Fonzie never rode. He was scared of motorcycles. So
he sat on it a lot.
That broke my heart.
When was that? In the 50s, Jack? 50s or 60s that show came out?
Yeah, 60s. Yeah.
You were like 10, 15 then?
Yeah, I wasn't born yet. So
Hey, wait. I never seen the originals, guys. These are reruns. Okay.
Yeah, you did say reruns, yes.
Yeah, these are reruns. So
that's what I watch too, the reruns. Yeah.
I do watch reruns. We have a channel here called Me TV. It's like all the old style television, and it's good stuff. But all right, so we're gonna go into Bob brought this back. We did a show 3 weeks ago, and then we had traveling and we got a little bit mixed up there. So sorry we haven't been around for a while. Like I said, myself and Colin and meeting people at VAM and them talking about, the Fireside Chat. It's a great stream. They love to watch it. A lot of you guys are in here tonight. A lot of you guys were there and said, I walk up to somebody and they don't even go, "Hey, HDR, it's nice to meet you." They go, "Where's Bob?" And I'm like, what? And but you get that. And I think that was great to have that much positive feedback. So that's why we're here tonight. But last time we did a show, Bob brought the rapid fire back. Well, rapid fire, our Gloria, is just basically one answer or the other. Okay. We don't really chit chat about it. We're going to move on.
Yeah, we do. We always talk about it.
I know we do. We do. Okay. So let's see these. And you guys had these pre-show here. Campfires outside or fireplaces inside?
Campfires.
Campfires.
Fire pit in my backyard or campfires for sure.
I do like campfires because you know what fireplace means? We're not riding anymore. That's what that means.
Yeah, though I will tell you, my wife's like a pyro when it comes to fireplaces. I need like 4 cords of wood in the winter time, so I need to start storing crap now.
Just don't let her get them off the truck, Bob. She's not allowed
Yeah,
to.
no more of that.
She wants the wood. She should work for it.
Oh. Like the grass when you cut the grass.
Exactly.
This is a big one for me because every time Mrs. HDR comes in, she goes, "Are you watching YouTube again? YouTube or regular TV? What do you watch more of?"
YouTube.
I have YouTube and YouTube TV, but YouTube by far.
That's what I did. I stream YouTube TV, but probably I would say more YouTube.
Yeah, I think so too. I think mine's more YouTube.
Could you cancel? I'm now thinking that I could almost cancel YouTube TV. I went from cable to YouTube streaming, YouTube TV to thinking I could probably go without it.
Yeah, I had it for like 2 months, Bob, and it was easy to cancel.
I don't watch it. I mean, Bob, there's only like 2 things I watch, maybe 3.
We stream mostly everything across like Hulu and Amazon Prime, so we don't need it anymore. All right, eating out or cooking at home?
Eating out. Means you're riding. You
know what, Jack? I think eating out unless we're grilling and sitting on the deck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather grill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
we had this conversation tonight because today, you know how you always talk to your wife, like about 10 in the morning, we start talking, what's for dinner, And I said, man, I'd love to have a great steak, right? So we go to the store and we start buying steak. We were looking for T-bones, right? I had this vision of this T-bone. And we pick it up and we bought them, right? Well, I got in the car and I said, do you think it's about the same price now to go out and buy a cooked T-bone as it is to cook a T-bone? I mean, I don't know what you guys think where you live, but prices are through the roof.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, we ordinarily do like to cook at home because by the time Mary gets home from her work, it's about 6:30. So we try to just cook at home and eat here about 7. So
if you're getting a steak out, where do you go? We only go to Texas Roadhouse, no place else.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse is our number 1 pick. We were on a trip once and she took me to I don't know what the other steakhouses are. There's Outbacks around here. They're pretty good. But yeah, Texas Roadhouse is awesome.
Texas Roadhouse is good unless you're going like gourmet and shit, like you like once every couple years where you go to like the high-end steakhouses.
Yeah.
Ruth Chris, and I don't know if any of these are familiar with you guys. Ruth Chris, the Mortons.
Mortons, I know.
I've heard of Morton's.
Ruth Chris is the best. But
Ruth Chris is freaking. They steam their steaks. They're just phenomenal.
It's a $300 meal.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? $300 meal. So.
And then my favorite, and I've told you guys this, if we ever get a chance, like it's a once every couple year thing, go to Fogo de Chao, the Brazilian steakhouse, where they just serve you a smorgasbord of meat.
I've heard of that.
They just keep giving you more and more meat, and you're in heaven, man. It's freaking awesome.
Do you go to Ruth Chris a couple times a week, Colin, normally?
I do. I own a couple of them. No, I haven't been to Ruth Chris in like 5 years, man. 5 years.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
Man, you got me thinking now.
They're so good.
Ever wear shorts on your motorcycle?
Hell
or
no.
A motorcycle?
Let me rephrase that. If I was backing the bike out into the driveway to start it up, maybe, but other than that, never.
Okay.
No. Not very rare. And like Bob and Jack, I know we got a picture of you of Vam, but That was just in the driveway. You on the motorcycle. I've still got that as blackmail.
Oh,
But no.
No, okay.
No.
I've been seeing more and more. Watch the Sturgis videos. Everybody's riding around. Like Blacktop Devil was even in there. I don't know if he's in
I
here
saw
today.
that.
No, I
And
won't ride.
He was riding with his wife, and he had shorts on. So he said, "Look at these white legs, or something, or crisp, or whatever."
To each their
Jack,
own.
a question for you, Jack. Did you eat at Cuz's while you were at Van? Cuzs.
We did not. We did not. That's the steakhouse that they have there. We ate there last year. Yeah, last year we ate there.
And they had a big ass steak. I remember last year I had there.
And they had a big ass gravel parking lot that nobody really cared for. But yeah, the food there is awesome. Face shield down or sunglasses on?
I use my face shield more.
Okay.
I only have face shield down when I'm vlogging. Other than that, it's sunglasses and face shield up.
Okay.
My exact same answer. I keep that thing up all the time, and I have sunglasses.
I think I do, except on the highway. I tend to put it down just to make me less tired, if that makes sense, because the wind blasts in my face. I don't know.
Oh, I love
Jack,
that feeling.
Jack, or if it's cold. I think you're right. Or if it's cold,
Yeah.
I'll sometimes put it down.
Yeah. This is a good one because this came up a while ago. We were talking to a guest on here. Kickstands up before starting the bike or after you start the bike? Or do you even know? Can you wait a minute?
As soon as I get on my bike, my kickstand goes up.
So that's before you start the bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack, everybody's asked this, and I was like, I don't think I remember. So now every time I get on my bike, that's all I think about, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I always, when I'm getting off the bike, I shut the bike off first, put the kickstand down. When I take off, I pull the kickstand up and start the bike.
Okay.
I get on the bike and I put the kickstand up.
Yep.
And
then you start
the bike.
Then start it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. And I think that helps a little bit. So we talked about before with what happened, and happened to me, where we forget the kickstand down, you go around the bend, it's like it'll fold itself back up. And somebody said before about, they turned the bike off and they got off and dropped the bike on the floor, in the garage. And so mine is always when I pull back in, kickstand down before I hit the kill switch. That way in my mind, I know it's down. I don't know.
Jack, you know what though? Now that I think about it, Pete made a great comment. I like the bike warm up most of the time.
Yeah, and I know you tried to teach me that too. So
I do too. So especially the Road King, I guess I do get on the bike with the kickstand down because I do warm that bike up.
Right, because it's warming up. That makes sense.
But if the bike's warm, I definitely will put the kickstand up, then start it. But I guess when it's in my driveway, I do get on it with the kickstand down and it's running.
And I have been working on that, Bob, because I told Mary about that just yesterday. I said about you, because remember I would jump on my bike, start it, put it in first gear and go, and you're like, what the hell are you doing, dude? It's like, so I do try to let it warm up, let the oil kind of transfer across the, the parts and the pieces in there. So I do appreciate that. This is a special for Bob. I wrote
Here's
this.
a stupid question. Before you do that, do you need to do that?
Need to do what?
Warm up the bike. I mean, in the M8, do you need to do that?
My dad used to tell me, even in your car, never to just start the car and go, because that oil is thick and it needs to get up a little bit and transfer through the motor. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. Bob, do you know? I mean, the true fact.
I will tell you what, for the Road Glide, Colin, and the M8, I can't say for sure.
Yeah,
I don't do it. That's
for my Road King. If that thing doesn't warm up for 5 minutes, it's going to run like crap. So I will normally start the bike, then go put my boots and jacket and helmet on, and then go ride. So that's a great question. I don't know on the M8.
What are the comments saying?
I'm sure the chat room will know.
Andy says synthetic oils are thin, so I don't know if that means you need to or not. But I definitely warm up my bike unless I've been riding the first time always. Right or wrong, whether I should or not, I don't know, on the Road Glide.
Oh, I like this question.
All right, so this is a special question for Bob. He sent me a picture. We talk about this all the time. And when we rode together, Bob, if you remember what was that place we ate at? The Triple Nickel Diner. Where was our helmets? But we always joke with each other about this. So when you go into a restaurant, where's your helmet? You take your hat, right? This is where I figure your helmet is, and pull it on the table, or would you sit on a chair beside you?
Hey, Jack, first of all, congratulations. You know how the adult dating sites spam. That means you have made it as a live feeder. So if you right click and block, they'll go away. There you go. Funny thing, I did it a couple times when you and I ride, Jack, and you.
Yes.
I don't want to say you chastised me. You coached me up about how unsanitary that was. But yeah, when you, Colin, and I rode and we went into a restaurant, by the way, we had been riding 100 degrees for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You threw yours on the top of the table. So you can't tell me that anymore. But I will say I was in a restaurant, yesterday when I was riding, and I put my helmet on the table, and I sent a picture to Jack going, "Hey, I'm out riding." So
yeah, I got that right away.
I just worry, honestly. I'd rather put it on the chair. I just worry about it always falling off, and I don't always leave it on the bike. So I do.
Okay.
I got to get better.
You do.
I just leave mine on my bike.
I mean, I normally leave it on the bike. It all depends. Like there's, I think when we were riding just last week, one time we brought it in because if I left it on the bike, it would be like 150 degrees when I put it back on.
That's a good point. I was going to bring that up.
So I wanted to cool it down a little bit. I don't know if that was where that was. I don't know if that was Pete or Ty, but one of the guys brought it in. I was like, that's actually smart.
Yeah, it's better to bring it in an air-conditioned place, right? So,
yeah, because it was so hot one day, and I was like, yeah, it is pretty toasty out here.
The worst part is, Jack, you're right. It's
You're
probably
right.
not the most sanitary thing to do, honestly. But now that we've turned you into one of those guys too, we're all good.
I know we're fine. But that comes from me from the military. If we would have taken our hat off and put it on the table, we would have been thrown out of the chow hall, right? We had to take our hats, our ball cap or soft cap, and slide it in the back of your pants and small your back, and that's where we carried our hat in the chow hall. So that's where that comes from. Really, I think I just like to jag Bob on that when he goes in, he plops that helmet on the table. So we all did. And you're right, Colin, about when it's 105 out. The only time myself and Miss Sure won't take them in if we're going like in a museum, or I don't want to be that guy carrying the helmet around, walking through the museum. So yeah. I think most places need today in the modern day society should have helmet check, where you go and you can check your helmet and they give you a little ticket.
What a great idea.
Yeah, and they take care of it for you. What do you think, Colin? Huh? That's a good thing. Helmet check.
Like a coat check.
Yeah, like coat check, but for your helmets. They take care of it,
Hey, Jack, if I go somewhere and I don't do it, I do take my gear off, normally off the helmet. And I think Andy said, well, somebody will be safe if they take it. As somebody who's gotten their GoPro stolen, I take it off, or the helmet comes in with me, or it goes in the tour pack.
And we do the same thing. We take all the electronics. I mean, we don't take the wiring out, but we do pop like the centers and stuff off. We put them in the tour pack
and the GoPro. Yep.
Yeah, we do that. All right, one more. I know we're running over a little bit here, but Gloria's been such a great, a guest, great guest there, and we love having Canadians on the show. I think it's huge. So this is the last one here. Would you rather have friends over your house, like, hey, come on over, we're gonna have a nice dinner, Bob said, by the fire pit outside, or would you rather meet the group at a restaurant somewhere and let the restaurant take care of it?
I'd like to entertain and have people at my house.
Okay.
Entertain at the house, no doubt.
Okay. Colin?
Both, but I like having people over the house, but it's always cool to meet up with friends and hang out too at like a bar or something like that. So I like both.
And I think you guys are exactly right. I do the same thing. We like having people over. Matter of fact, we were just this Saturday, we were supposed to have a big fish fry because everybody knows that I'm a pretty avid fisherman. I love fishing. We got 55 crappie in the freezer right now. So we have this big fish fry, which Colin won't come over for that, but
I'll come over. I just won't touch the insipid crap you guys call fish.
We'll throw some hamburgers on the grill for you. We'll be okay. Don't worry. We'll take care of you.
Hey, Colin, we're gonna have a psychiatrist come to dinner, and we're gonna have them talk to you. And then as part of that growing period, we're gonna have fish for dinner.
Fish
and shrimp.
I won't touch that white crap. I'd rather have cow and pig.
Well, we'll have that for you too, but there'll be a little fish on the side. You can do it.
See, you're like me, Colin. I don't eat any sea bugs.
I got
All that stuff that's in the water can stay there.
Well, I mean, I have a lame story. I'm not going to tell it again, but I have a lame reason why, because I was traumatized by my mom by forcing me to eat fish when I was younger, and then ever since then I won't touch it.
You know, there's an employee assistance program at work.
I know, it's
really
pathetic.
talk to you about that.
I know, I need help. I know, it's all in my freaking head.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I just seen in the chat room, I got a bunch of people heading to my house. So, hey, good. Bring a case of beer with you so we can chill out. All right, but we are going to wrap it up here. I'll let you guys get your final thoughts in there, guys and girls. We'll let Harley Gurl go first.
My final thoughts. It's been awesome.
Yeah, your
hanging
final
out with
thoughts.
you guys. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great hanging out with you three. I was so thrilled when here's Jack at the motel, like he said. I recognized his bike. We got to talk about that seat you have, those beads on your seat.
Hey, what? Good.
So,
Pretty wrong, isn't it?
It just
wrong.
actually, I was going to ask about the comfort level of it, but it was like, anyway, here he is in the back. He's following us down to Tazewell. It was like, woohoo, riding with Harley Day Rider back there. He was sweet.
And I was back here and I get to ride with all these great people.
Yeah. No, you guys, it's been great. I really appreciate you asking me to be on the show. I admire all of you as I watch your YouTubes I have for years. So thank you for having me.
Gloria, just so you know, your ass is like it's on a cloud when you're on those beats. They're Now,
I mean, they're hard like rocks. How could it not be comfortable?
No, they're freaking awesome. Now, saying that, they're not the coolest things to look at.
No.
And they get made fun of a lot, but
Yes.
I don't care because my butt loves it, right? And that's what I'm more concerned about. I'm not superficial.
Good.
I'm not superficial, materialistic like Bob is, and has to make fun and put other people down to make himself feel better. No, Gloria, seriously, thank you for coming on tonight. You were out in Vam, and that's a huge accomplishment, honestly, coming all the way down from Canada to Virginia. That's a big ride coming, and make sure you guys check out her channel. And it's not GIRL, GURL, Harley Gurl, GURL. And you're a sweetheart, and we really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, I concur. Thank you. There's so many good moto vloggers. Jarvis. I mean, there's so many folks. Yourself. Who am I missing? Gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Superman Kev?
Superman Kev, right?
Superman Kev, yeah.
There's so many great folks from Canada, and being from the U.S., you guys are our brothers and sisters, right? So we appreciate you coming on. You were awesome, and
Viper.
Thank you. And you know what?
Yes,
at some time, I got to hit you up because I know you travel with your bike in a toy hauler, so I need to get some advice from you.
For sure.
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, and thanks to everybody in the chat room tonight. We do appreciate it there. Gloria, hang out in the green room a little bit. We will chat after the show. That's our private talk. You guys can't watch. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. Everybody knows we have a little chit chat afterwards and we all go off and eat dinner. But thanks to everybody in the chat room. It's because of you that this show continues to rumble through. We've been doing this from 2020, I guess, to whenever. Whenever we got locked in the house and we couldn't ride, we said, hey, let's get together on the internet and talk. And then we invited the world in our group chat. So pretty cool. Take care, everybody. Remember, Roger and Ride, be safe out there. The Fireside Chat will be closing out from the beautiful HDR studios here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.